How we doing?
Fantastic. Good.
Who are you?
Who are you? You need to stand up and introduce yourself.
I never out there, right?
Oh, we can't get started yet.
No, that one is.
No one's on the phone.
He has a tenant.
That was really loud. That was kind of aggressive.
All right. Time for our on-time drawing. We have some blanks here.
I need
Oh,
more
went all the way down to 17.
That's my new number.
Why 17?
Black 17.
All right, so what are we giving away?
It's a blank space, it was me.
There's a lot of blank spaces here. It's you.
Number 2.
What?
We got a shirt.
Whoa. Okay.
If you
I do
need
need
a
a
smaller
shirt.
size, let me know.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
if you need a different size or different color, let us know. We have folders,
That's what we need.
notepads, playing cards, and other, I almost said shit, other stuff.
They're $2.
All right.
Okay.
To order them, yeah.
Somebody got it.
I'm gonna win this right now.
All right, what do we got here?
5.
Linda, congratulations. If you want a different size shirt, let us know.
Exactly what I wanted.
Yeah. We're the one number 1.
All right, what are we doing here?
My baby.
We don't know.
We don't, I don't know either.
Oh my God, I'm actually more.
Make sure you take pictures and check in on Facebook. We some of our rev ups. Next Wednesday is working with buyers getting offers accepted. Jeff will be the instructor on that. There is no, we're closed for Veterans Day tomorrow. So I won't be here, Steph won't be here, Laura won't be here, but I'll be available.
Okay.
But anyways, so next Wednesday and the next Friday is holding successful open houses. I'll be the instructor on that one if you want to start doing open houses. Veterans Day closed tomorrow. Food truck. Every Thursday there's a food truck out in the parking lot that way. And it is Street Kings. What is Street Kings?
Yeah.
Tacos.
Tacos?
Tacos. They have like carne asada fries, burritos.
Good to try
Are they any good?
I've never had them.
Oh.
They sent me a menu too.
It sounded like you did.
Good, right?
Yeah.
Well, they sent me a menu, so I read it. I read the menu.
All right, next Thursday, a week from today, is our Thanksgiving potluck. We will be providing the turkey and the ham, catered by Lloyd, what's his company?
Lloyd B's Barbecue.
Lloyd B's Barbecue. So he provided our turkey and ham last year. He catered our whole party, Christmas party that we had here 2 years ago.
That was nice.
Really, really good food.
Yeah.
So, so we need sides, and we, most importantly, right, is we need desserts.
Actually, we have a lot of people signed up for desserts, so we really need sides.
How about drink?
We have a lot of people signed up for drinks.
So you need sides.
The important part.
Not, you need, not desserts, sides.
Sides, right?
And drink.
I don't know, she's the boss.
We don't.
I say desserts.
We
but-
have mainly
Can-
dinner, the people who've signed up so far have mainly signed up for dinner rolls, pies,
Mine is dessert.
and yes, Mila signed up for dessert.
Can we really
need, like,
have
veggies
enough
and
desserts?
wine. I mean, we can just have wine and pie, it's fine. I mean, I'm okay with that if everybody else is.
We like the way you think.
Okay.
All right, so that's next Thursday, right here. That's always a fun time. November 17th, so that's like in a couple of weeks, I guess.
That's next Friday,
Is it next Friday?
yes.
So a week from tomorrow.
Yep.
There's a CE class, Lee Dreisen is the instructor on that. Lee Dreisen is really, I mean, he's an attorney, so he's kind of dry, but he always has great, his classes are really good. I've been to several of his classes. So this one is 30 Ways to Lose Your License.
Oh, I was wondering how we can do
I won't say anything.
Yes, please.
So you need to RSVP to Suzanne over at the Summerlin office, or I guess you could scan that.
QR code.
I think I'll probably go, because I wanna find out how you guys can lose my license. All right, and then on December 8th,
No, that's the wrong date. It's supposed to be the 7th. That's,
Seventh?
December 8th is a Friday. I flubbed that one.
December
December
sorry.
7th. Put it in your calendar as December 7th, not December 8th.
Oh, December
Give
7th,
me a
Thursday?
Sharpie so I can change that. Our brunch and white elephant gift. So bring a white elephant present. Price range between 15 and 25. I don't know, we have a lot of fun with that. So,
I feel like we need to up the budget, like what can you realistically get now?
do you wanna
With
up it?
With inflation, like, even if Starbucks
I
stuff is
told
like.
you.
Go ahead, say I told you so.
I told you
Say I
so.
told you
I
so.
said
Like, how much
$25 to $30.
She said minimum 25.
Minimum.
Yeah, I think minimum 25. Yeah.
Why do you listen to me?
I mean, most of the time I don't.
$15, what's that even get, can really get a lunch?
So what time is that, Mark? I can't see.
We always spend like over
It's Thursday, so it's 11.
11 o'clock. And if you remember, who remembers last year's? And who
buy a gift.
who cooked for you last year?
Staff.
Yeah. And it was good, wasn't
That
it?
was great.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that again. Mike?
Yes,
It was actually
yes,
good.
yes.
That's
Yes.
a reluctant yes.
What time is it at?
Stephanie made some amazing
Mhm.
biscuits and gravy. It was so good. And some pies. She made
I didn't make pies for the bunch of my elephant. Pies are for Thanksgiving.
oh, okay. Well, make sure you save some for me this time. All right, so that's December 8th. Put that in your calendar.
December 7th.
7th, December 7th, not 8th.
Sorry, I got a lot of dates, guys.
Speaking of a lot of stuff going on, it is that time of year, isn't it? You know, where we have a lot of stuff going on. We have our holiday party, which is going to be at the Sienna. So we won't have to drive 30 miles to get to our
To the
Christmas
castle.
party this year.
The castle.
Which was a fun party,
It was
but
cool, and the food was really good.
food was good, yeah. But, you know, it was so far away, and it was just kind of weird.
I missed my exit. I went like going to Boulder City drunk. It was not good.
But it was a fun party.
Yes.
But we always have fun parties. So this year, we don't have to we don't have to drive nearly as far, so it's at the Sienna Golf Course. And it is Friday, December 15th, 6 o'clock. And to RSVP,
There's in the email blast, there's a link that has gone out from me directly. There's also in the newsletter, there's a link to purchase tickets.
so there is a cost, so the agent ticket's $11, and that all $11 goes to charity. Our charity is Opportunity Village this year, which is a great charity. And a companion ticket is $51. $11 of that goes to Opportunity Village as well. So look for the emails that have the links or the newsletters that have the links. Who's already
Ticket sales
registered?
end December 8th. That's where the December 8th came from.
What's that? Oh,
The December 8th on the other flyer.
yeah,
Well,
all
the
right.
end of the date.
So the last day to purchase tickets for the holiday party is Friday, December 8th.
Okay. All right.
Don't get invited either.
Then, further out, we have the summit, which is in February 4th to 6th. Love the summit. It's a great event. We're being promised that we're gonna have great speakers again, and we always do have great speakers. But they're keeping it all under wraps. We have no idea who the speakers are going to be. There is, emails have been gone out for an interest list to get the discounted price of $555. The last day to do that is Saturday, right?
So there's an early bird special which ends Saturday the 10th, but to get the $555, the group ticket pricing, we just need 3 more people to sign up and then it's done.
3 more people, because there's a minimum of 50
50.
to get the group pricing. So, we're close, and it's a great event. All right, if you have hot new listings that you want to promote within the office, or open houses that you want to promote within the office, get the information to Stephanie by noon on Thursdays. So you have just about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get the information to Stephanie, and she'll put it in the weekly email that goes out. Let's talk about some stats. Market's changing. The market is changing. Our active listings right now, well, as of 2 days ago, 3 days ago, is 5,620. Of those, 4,233 are single families. There's been almost 1,900 price decreases. This is the number that's changing the most right now. Is the souls is down to under 2,000, 1,929, and our month's inventory is growing. Remember, we were not that long ago. We're at like 0.7 months, and now we're at 2.9 months. We're still in a seller's market, very much still a seller's market. We're still going up against multiple offers. There's just less buyers out there right now. They're afraid of the interest rates. But you know what?
It's also seasonal.
That too, absolutely. Yeah. Median days on the market's 41. Let's compare this to about a month ago. So active listings a month ago, it's actually gone up, and the number of sold was at 2140 a month or so ago, and now it's 1929. Months inventory, 2.5. So we've gone up, 0.4. And even the days on the market, 38 just a month ago, and it's up to 41 now. But even 41 days is still, it's nothing. We're still very, very much in a seller's market. Our goal is to just go out and find some motivated sellers. They're motivated by, having to sell for one reason or another. It could be a job transfer. It could be they're just bursting out of their home. But our goal is to find motive. Could be landlords who are just tired of being landlords. So just let's go out there and find some sellers. That's where the money is right now. Charity is not here, but reach out to Charity for all your lending needs. And then we have a rock title. There's no rock title classes, this week. This week is just about over since tomorrow is a holiday. So, but, reach out to, hi Laura.
Hi.
When did you sneak in here? So Laura is escrow officer extraordinaire. And then Jocelyn is the marketing rep, so reach out to them for all your escrow and title needs. All right, before we get into goal planning, who was on that call on Monday?
Yeah, I was unable to.
Wasn't you? What's that?
Yeah, I was trying to, but it's already closed.
I was on another one, but yeah.
Yeah. So, any questions, comments, observations regarding the lawsuit? You know, I'll try and answer whatever questions that you have. I'll also, you know, I have opinions too.
I heard something, well, so when they were explaining the lawsuit, they said there was wholesalers, that it was like 27 wholesale, it started in Missouri or something like that.
Well, the lawsuit did come out of Missouri, but I never heard anything that it was regarding wholesalers.
Right, they didn't really clarify on it,
Yeah.
but they said something like, it was like 2,700 wholesalers, you know, of course, I mean, that kinda makes sense.
Yeah,
But,
you know, there's always the conflict of interest when you're talking about wholesalers. So,
correct.
but as licensees, we shouldn't be doing wholesaling per se.
So, I'm in a plain kind of thing, so like the lawsuit, I was trying to follow up with all these guys. So basically, when we go on the listing appointment, can we still ask for the commission, and then how do we
That's a great
offer
question.
on the MLS, on the, I mean, can we still offer somehow to pay for the?
So,
buy?
right now, business as usual. No changes to anything right now. You know, this lawsuit, and there's others that have already been filed, and guarantee you they're going to be more that gets filed down the road.
I woke up today reading articles and there was more lawsuits.
Yeah,
same.
I heard,
I didn't get
Jeff.
to read it, but.
Mark, actually in Illinois, they just filed, and now it's the other side suing
Yeah.
us, the buyers.
Yep.
Remember the DOJ said a while back that we can't say we're free because the buyer is paying us for what they offer.
Yeah.
But then the first lawsuit was the seller about paying the buyer's agent. Now we got the buyer
Yeah.
suing us over.
and did I read somewhere that it's $100 billion lawsuit?
They're going back,
5.8
they're going all the way back to
What is the lawsuit about,
1996.
Yeah,
What is the lawsuit about, what are they suing us?
I'm not quite sure, it's,
And
but it's
actually,
the buyers.
our MLS, we've changed it, or we're changing it to where 0 is a number, is an amount.
Yeah.
So if
You
you
know what?
know, if somebody wanted to offer 0, they could offer 0.
What was it before 0?
You had to at least do $1.
Yeah, so is that really that big of a difference?
Yeah, it's.
They found their loophole to.
And question, one other thing,
Yeah.
I mean, when I go on my listings appointments, I tell them what I'm gonna charge. So, I mean,
If they agree, why they come back?
Well, they're
is this
citing
kinda,
it
is this
too.
kinda like alerting the sellers to,
Mhm.
you know?
All right, so let me pull out my crystal ball,
Yeah.
and which is not always correct, but this is what I think is gonna happen down the road. At some point, and it could be a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, it's the sellers are going to be paying, or the sellers are going to be paying the listing agents, and the buyers are going to be paying the buyer's agents. And there will be no offer of cooperation in the MLS. Just my crystal ball. Does that mean that the sellers will never pay buyers' closing costs? No. Just like what the buyers are doing now, asking the sellers to pay for closing
Well, I thought
costs.
the proceed, like the cost of the home is just gonna fluctuate to adjust for that cost.
Yep.
On either side.
And it all depends on what kind of market are we in.
Yes.
Are we in a buyer's market?
Yes, yes.
Or are we in a seller's market? If we're in a real heavy buyer's market where the month's inventory is 6 months, the seller's gonna be more likely to pay the buyer's agent's commission. Now, if we're in a seller's market, there may be less likely. So it's just kind of, and I think we're gonna see in the actual purchase agreement, that verbiage written in there
Yeah,
somewhere.
because that's what I was going to say, because isn't it like part of, right now, our ethics that we do not have
Right now,
commission being part of the deal?
yeah, right now commissions are not part of contracts,
Right.
But it's gonna change.
but I see that changing.
Yeah.
The other thing I see changing, and this is a
But how
big
can they,
change.
how did they do it? Is that not gonna be, I mean, it's ultimately selling the home is between the parties, not the agents, so like, how is that gonna change?
So we're gonna have to ask
It's
the
gonna be part
buyer,
of the contract.
so we're gonna have, our presentation is gonna be so strong that we're telling the buyer that they're paying our commission.
Yes.
Okay.
Your presentation, and that's why we did that, just a couple of weeks ago with Linda, is the buyer presentation. Your buyer presentation better be strong. It really better be strong. Cause you have to sell yourself, you have to sell your value, to the buyer, much like we have to do right now when we go on listing appointments. We have to sell value, don't we? Being a buyer's agent didn't take a lot of sales skills. It's going to start taking sales skills.
I have a question. So just like in general, for example, new home buyers, what percentage do you see that actually know? Cause like a lot of the ones that I said, now they didn't even know that they don't pay anything, so
Yeah.
how do they know that they're not paying?
So the question was about new home buyers.
Yeah.
What changes will there be with new home buyers? I don't see
Exactly.
changes at all with the new home builders. I really don't. You know, there's going to be those builders that will always pay us, no matter what. And there's going to be those I almost said builder assholes. Those builders like Lennar and some other builders that when they perceive that they don't need us, they're not going to pay us. And then when the market changes and they need us, they're gonna pay us. I don't see that changing at all. I really don't.
But what I was saying is like, it's almost like in my mind, because I'm not a new agent, I would say that a lot of the conversations that I have, when you tell a new home buyer that they don't have to pay you a fee, this was in the past, they were surprised. It's like, oh, I thought I do pay.
Yeah.
So it's almost like.
They do always think that they're paying, like,
Yeah.
they think that
So they
their
already-
money is coming, so now, hey, yes, you're
Yeah.
paying,
And
you
now
pay,
it will be.
you
So
pay,
it's not really a,
Yeah.
you pay.
yeah, I think it's not gonna be.
It's not gonna be a
Correct.
big deal.
Yeah, I
It
don't
really,
think so.
it really isn't. And in the buyer brokerage agreement, when you say, you know, I work for X amount percent or X amount of dollars, you know, in there it says that it can be offset by what the seller is paying. And if it's a new home, you know, the seller, the builder is paying, you know, 2.5%, 3%, 4% on some builders. So, yeah,
So right now, when you take a new listing and they say, well, I don't need to pay the buyer's commission at this point, right? Because of what they've been reading or hearing about in the lawsuit. So, yes, that's true, and they can say, I'll pay you, but I'm not gonna pay you.
And it's always been the case, whenever I've gone on a listing appointment, I always say, you know, I charge 3 bananas, you know? Now, we also have to pay the buyer's agent, you know, and it can be anywhere between, now, it used to be $1 and whatever, now it's, you know, and what's that?
You get paid in bananas.
Bananas, yeah. Sometimes oranges. But yeah, so your listing presentation is just, you're tweaking it a little. Now,
So, but now they
if-
say that that was the case, but now there's a precedent that says you don't have to pay.
Right.
So
so if they see, if they offer 0
Yeah, so
or
they-
$1 or whatever, or $100, whatever, and they're not getting showings, then you could have that discussion. You know, why do you think we're not getting some showings?
So that's a discussion to have upfront,
Sure.
Yes.
that will
Absolutely.
affect
Yep.
how your,
Mhm.
whether your home is shown or not, or how. It was the lawsuit, is it a national? Last time was
This
it
was
by
Missouri
states?
only,
Okay.
Missouri, but it's affecting, you know, our industry in general.
What was my question, as far as, what was that, okay, so, some agents say, oh, I charge 7%, and then on the listing side, they will charge 4 or 5%, so I mean.
Okay, what's your point?
Yeah, or, okay, so, and then we sign on the duty zone, am I allowed to, what is that? The code with if I can bring the buyer or not?
Dual agency.
Dual agency, so how would that affect the dual?
That doesn't change a bit, you know, some states allow it, some states don't, you know, it's not changing at all.
Okay.
May I say something to answer to this lady? For next 3 years, nothing's gonna change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because NRI appealed at the court, which means it will be ongoing for 3 years.
Now, everyone's saying
This
it's
is
going to be
insane.
appealed, it's going to be appealed,
Yes,
it's going to be attempted to appeal. Appeals aren't automatic. the NAR and the other companies can't just go and say, we wanna appeal, and then it happens. First of all, they need to put up a bond for the $1.78 billion and maybe even the 5 point whatever billion because of what they call trouble damages. And so they have to put up a bond first, and they have to have grounds for appeal. So I'm sure the attorneys are working diligently to figure out the grounds for appeal, but it's not just automatic. They just aren't gonna be just granted an appeal just because they didn't like the outcome.
So would a lawsuit have to be filed in Nevada for
No, it could be a
that?
federal.
It could be yeah.
The new one is federal.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, the same lawyers left that
Yeah.
courtroom and filed a federal lawsuit.
Yeah.
But then also 7 to 8 other lawsuits got filed in individual states. So the same lawyers, these are the lawyers that went after big tobacco.
Yeah. Yep.
And everything, so you know that they know how to win.
Yeah, so bottom
So
line,
it doesn't affect because it might be under, they may be granted an appeal, or when you say it doesn't affect it, it's because there's a potential appeal out there, or why does that not affect us?
it doesn't affect us
Because the
yet.
federal has to
Doesn't
go
affect us yet
one?
because,
Because that was Missouri.
yeah.
Do you think
You
it'll
can tell
affect our
federal
real estate
is-
dues? Do you think our dues are gonna go up?
That's a great question.
I was like, this is all about our dues.
It very, I mean, where else are they gonna get the billions?
Well,
Right.
let me ask you this, do you think this is the beginning of the end of NAR?
I think it could be.
Yeah.
I really think it could be.
That was
In a lot of states, the associations are separate from the MLS, where ours here in many states, they're tied together. But in some
And it
states.
didn't help that they have their own internal turmoil going on too.
Yeah, and I know,
Doesn't look good.
I've done business with that former president.
Really?
He's from Utah, where I was from, yeah. Or where I
Oh,
lived,
there you
yeah.
go.
So he's actually a nice guy, I was shocked. Anyway, bottom line, and you're gonna hear me say this over and over and over again, business as usual.
For now.
You know, we need to keep an eye and an ear on what's going on in our industry, but right now, business is as usual, so just.
So when you're talking to like, you've always had the option of paying $1 or nothing, right? But it is always going to affect who is willing to bring a buyer to look at your home.
Yep.
So if you say 0, then you may not have a lot of interest in your home. And and ethically, we're allowed to, this is a dumb question, but not show, but we're not allowed not to show.
No.
That's up to your
No,
buyer.
you're
Like,
putting-
if the buyer says, I don't wanna pay you,
Right,
I want the
That's
seller
different.
to pay you, I only want you to show me homes that you're gonna get a commission off of, so I don't have to pay you.
Yep.
Then you're not obligated to show them any homes that
You're
are.
doing what you're
that discussion should be brought up in your buyer presentation. Reason that you have to have a really strong buyer presentation. I recommend going to an AVR class, it's actually a 2-day class. I am talking with Lee Barrett, who teaches the AVR, it's actually a designation. I'm talking to him about bringing it in here. There'll be a cost to it, but I highly recommend AVR because they go over the buyer presentation. They go over the everything regarding, working with buyers.
And you get CE credit.
And you get CD credit, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just ask questions to get to work. I sit on the quality control committee for MLS, and each time we go into a meeting, they send us out a form to say, is there anything that somebody's looking for? And usually the other members will talk to people in their office. It's everything from, can you fix this field, like we added what's that laminate flooring, the high-end laminate flooring, what's it called?
The luxury.
Yeah, we added that to it, things like that. So if ever you guys have anything, just let me know what.
I got one.
What?
Get rid of driving directions.
Would you know, we actually have somebody that's in trouble for putting, Google it.
Yeah.
Which I agree with.
Why who uses driving
Yeah.
directions, the MLS
Yeah, no,
driving?
no.
Well, I had more people looking at
Hey,
this list.
believe you me, we're trying to get rid of community names because there's so many out there
Yeah.
to try to add them all. But we have so many old school realtors that anytime we do a change like that, Oh my God, you thought we were destroying the earth. Like, they took away the numbers.
Oh, I know.
Sorry, Paul. You know, but anyway, if ever there's something that you.
Remember way back the subdivision numbers?
Subdivision numbers, subdivision names, and then subdivision names don't match what the county has, because the county named one thing, the builder names it. But anyway, just let me know if there is something that is of concern to you. I can't say it will be fixed, but I can always bring it up at the meetings.
All right, thanks, Jeff. All right, let's move on to goal setting and business planning. Who does a business plan every year? We got two. All right. Who can do it? You do it?
I do like some goals.
I know, I've done them too, but I never followed.
Are the goals in here or are they
I
written
write
down?
them down.
I write them on my board, but they never like,
I write them on my board, I do a vision
All right.
no, it's just like there on the board.
Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goals. Goals are really, really important. I wish I would have pulled up the study, but Harvard Business did a study years ago that said those that have goals written down, have a business plan and goals written down, produce at a much higher rate or have much more success than those that don't. Even those, you know, we all have goals in our head, but there's a difference when you get them written down. So I have a bunch of questions to be, you know, we're just gonna go through them real quick, but some questions, just food for thought, some things for you guys to think about. Do you have an income goal for the next 12 months? Who has an income goal for 2024? I would think most of you do have an income goal, at least in your mind. You know, I want to make 100,000, 200,000, you know, whatever that number is. Do you have other personal goals to achieve in the next 12 months? Yes. What? Travel to more countries?
Yes.
Which is not a bad goal. I mean, I'll give you a hard time about it, but losing weight, yeah.
Being healthy.
Be healthy.
Stay with my
Fit too
exercise.
big. We'll talk about that in a bit. What's it?
Stay more consistent with my exercise.
Do what? Work out, okay? Well, so remember when we talked about this last year? I had some goals. Half marathon, but yeah, so I had a goal of running a half marathon. I think my goal is to run it in under 2 hours. I've run 2 half marathons so far this year. One in April, one in September. I have not broke the 2 hour. I have another chance at it next weekend. A week from Saturday, I'll be in California running another half marathon. Probably not going to break 2 hours on that one either, but I'm running it.
But that's great. Half
How close
marathon,
are you?
congratulations.
What's that?
How close are you to it?
Not close.
Like 1
Write
hour.
it down, Mark.
I do.
Only 1 hour.
Do you have goals for the next 12 months written down? Writing down those goals are very important. Do you have written goals that you can see and review daily? A lot of people, you know, they'll do a business plan, they'll write their goals down, and especially if they start falling, you know, behind on their goals, it goes into the file cabinet, goes in the desk drawer, never to be seen again. Pull it out. Have it, you know, you're much more likely. I know people that put it on their bathroom mirror so that they see it every day. Maybe you write it on some Post-it notes and put it on your bathroom mirror. Have you shared your goals with someone significant in your life? That's really important. Sharing your goals with other people because they'll help you stay accountable. Do you have pictures of your goals? Pictures of your goals. I had a goal for years to own a Porsche 911 convertible. For years I had that. And then finally in January or February of 2000, I bought the Porsche. So, and part of that was I was always looking at it. Regarding your income goals for the next 12 months, do you know how many closings that you're going to need to do those goals? Do you know how many closings? If your goal is $200,000 and your average commission check is $10,000, you know it's going to take 20 closings in order to get the $200,000. You need to know the number. Do you know how many open escrows you're going to need to have the 20 closings? Of the open escrows, you know how many should be listed, sold versus how many buyer-controlled sales? What is your mix? Are you 50-50 on buyers and sellers? Are you 60-40, 70-30? What are you? It's really important to know your numbers. Typically, newer agents are more buyer-heavy than seller-heavy. Do you know your percentage, Miranda? If you were to guess?
I'm probably about 60-40 buyer to listing.
Okay. You need to work and
Yeah.
reverse that.
Yeah.
Do you know how many listings that you need to take? Not every listing you take closes, so you need to know your numbers. Have you calculated the number of listing appointments you need to attend in order to take the needed number of listings? Not every listing appointment you go on, do you get the listing, right? I knew that, and so I worked a lot of expires and a lot of FSBOs, and I knew that my numbers were about 50% on those. 50% of those listing appointments I went on, I was able to get the listing. But I also knew that if I went on listing appointments by referred business, I was like 90% on the referred. So you just got to know your numbers. Have you calculated the number of appointments with buyers you need in order to the open number? So not every buyer appointment you attend or that they attend with you ends up with a buyer brokerage agreement. And the buyer brokerage agreement is becoming more and more important based on the conversation we just had. Do you know the fall through ratio? Not everything that you put in escrow, not every buyer that you start working, not every listing you take ends up as a closing. So you gotta know your fall through ratio. You know your listing presentations to listings taken ratio. Do you know the number of showings with buyers needed to make a sale?
100 homes for
That's
one
it.
sale.
Did you do 100?
No.
What was the most you did?
The most I showed was probably like 32 homes.
32.
Yeah, before we got actually, we did close it, but.
I've done like 30-40, but it would be like a long span.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else?
I
Who
did
can,
about,
who can beat the 30 or 40?
I'm about in that range, and
Yeah.
she never ended up buying.
Oh, you beat it. You beat it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it was a
So when I first moved to Utah, my very first transaction, it was actually an expired listing. I took the listing and I actually got it sold in about 2.5 weeks. And and he knew that I was new to Utah. And after we got his listings sold or under contract, I said, all right, now I want to take off my listing agent's hat and put on my buyer's agent's hat, and I want to represent you. And so this was in Highland, Utah, which is in Utah County. You know where that is, right? And he wanted, they were talking about moving up to Ogden, which was about 50 miles north. And I may have driven through Ogden at one point. And he said, but Mark, you don't know anything about this area. And I said, yeah, well, I have GPS and I have the MLS. So I lived down near Highland. And like I said, Ogden was a good 50 miles, maybe more. What do you think? You know?
Sure.
He's from that area.
It's been a while.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. It's a good hour drive. And I ended up showing him. So the wife was never available, only him. And I showed him 45 homes. Oh, yeah.
Because you're counting those hours.
Yeah, yeah. So I ended up, Roy, do you know where Roy, Utah is? I sold a home in Roy, Utah too. So 45 homes, that was a lot of time. But I was brand new and I didn't have anything else to do, so, I got to know that. I got to know that part of town, the valley.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
it was
know the
cheap.
distance pretty well.
Yeah. when he first said, let's meet at this, I forget even what road it was, and I left really super early thinking, I have no idea where this is, and so I was there and waiting like a half an hour for him. Do you track your appointments on a monthly basis and keep a visual snapshot of your progress? Again, you need to write things down. Do you have a daily, what's that P word?
What is that?
P, a lot of people don't like that P word, prospecting. What else can we call it?
Hunting.
How about lead attraction?
Hunting, I like hunting.
Hunting. Lead generation? A lot of people have a problem with that P word. But, you know, that's the business we're in. That is the business of, our job as real estate agents are to find people that want to buy, sell, invest in real estate. That's our job. We need to know how to show homes, to write offers, to negotiate repairs, to take listings. We need to be able to do all that, but our job is to find people that want to buy, sell, invest in homes. And that is that P word, prospecting. Do you have a business plan that you run a successful business plan? We're going to talk about that. So a goal without a deadline is just a dream. He's one of my favorite writers.
I like that word, deadline.
Shark Tank. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about goals. Who is familiar with SMART goals? SMART goals. It's an acronym. SMART goals. For the S is specific. Your goal needs to be specific. What's an example of a specific goal?
24 closings.
24 closings. That's very specific. Needs to be measurable. Is 24 closings measurable?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so. It needs to be attainable. Is 24 closings attainable?
Yep.
How many times have you done it?
6, 7 times.
So it's very attainable. It needs to be realistic. He's done it 6 or 7 times, so clearly it's realistic. It may not be enough though. And the T is for timely. Now, 24 goals is not timely. Make it timely.
5 years.
Just a year, deadline.
Here we said a month.
12
A
months.
month.
Yeah, a month.
That's timely. So putting a time frame. What did you say earlier that your goal was? Be fit or
It'll just be healthier.
be healthier? Does that
Healthier
fit?
decisions, but no, it's too broad.
Does that fit under the SMART goals?
Too broad.
Specific, measurable. How can we make it a SMART goal?
Like what you said, lifting, food,
Mhm.
just be more specific.
Put a time frame to it, you know? What else? Who else has some goals they want to share? We'll put it in and see if it's a SMART goal. You know,
More country to go to.
more countries to go to.
It's smart. It's smart.
Well, let's see if this fits.
It's inspiring, you know?
Is it specific?
No.
It could be more specific. We could mention specific countries that we want to
Or
go
say
to.
like 4 countries or 5 countries. That's specific.
Have a number of countries. Is it measurable?
Yeah.
If you put a number to it, 4 or 5 countries, it's measurable. Is it attainable? We know it's attainable with her. She's always traveling.
Is it realistic? Yes.
Is it realistic?
Yes.
Yeah, there are countries.
Last one. Is it timely?
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything that said mention time frame.
Within
Okay,
the
next year. Next year.
Next year.
In 2024.
Yes.
That way it would fit under the SMART goals. Angel.
Oh, no, I knew he has something he wants to share.
No.
I'm not gonna force you. I just like to make you uncomfortable.
Do a good job, Mark.
Who else has goals?
Losing weight.
All right. Shala wants to lose weight. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Is it specific?
Now everybody gonna expect me to lose weight, even walking out the nose.
No, yeah, yeah.
Good, no.
You're big enough you.
Again, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Again, just remember this, growth happens outside your comfort zone. So it may be feeling a little uncomfortable right now, but let's talk.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're gonna have some accountability partners, aren't you?
Yes.
Because, you know, I'm right there with you. I need to lose those pounds as well, so,
That's kind of the trick, if you throw
You're
it out
right,
there,
you're
and you
right.
let everyone know.
yeah.
I know, then everybody.
They'll keep on asking you how you're doing.
But it'll make you do it.
Yeah, actually it's good.
It's not a bad thing, Shaw.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not a
It's
bad
very
thing.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you
Big-
mean?
big
it's
on
you
walking.
can do it.
Alright.
They.
It's already out there.
Are
It's
you
already
saying
funny,
I'm
it's
fat?
funny.
Are you- They're saying I'm fat.
It's so funny.
You're big.
Just think about it. $100 a month.
See?
You're
If
you're
were
amongst
betting
friends.
thousands, yes.
You look very. I've been telling you.
Consistently is more.
So,
I'm 5'8", you know, you're.
to make losing weight a smart goal is, and I'll use me,
Yeah.
It has to be specific.
it has to be specific.
Like
I
10
wanna lose 20 pounds in 2024.
Yeah.
Is that measurable?
It is.
Okay, for
Is
Shala,
it
5 pounds.
attainable?
Yes.
I think it is it realistic?
Absolutely.
Maybe, maybe.
There's a time, like I said, in 2024. So,
Yeah.
I already did one step, I cut my hair, it was 2 pounds. What else I can?
So, my point is, when you are goal setting, it needs to fit in these parameters. You can't have just a vague goal. You can't say, I just wanna get in better shape, you know? Sure, you know, you wanna get in better shape, and maybe that will work. However, if you have a smart goal, it's more likely to be attainable. I'm gonna break this TV. And it's being recorded. All right.
It is.
About 10 minutes. What I wanna do is talk about business plans. And I have 3 completely different business plans here. And we're just going to briefly review them. Can you pass these out to this side? Can you pass these out to this side? Thank you. So this is the business plan. This is, clearly is Mary's business plan. That I got when I was coaching with him back in 2018. It's one of my favorite business plans, and it's pretty comprehensive. Now, and it's backwards. So the front page should be this. So it's backwards, okay?
You just staple them all.
Yeah, it's just stapled over. So that, what you want is actually the front page, all right? So what you put in there is your revenue, so that's your GCI. If you wanna make $200,000, that's where you put it. And then your expenses and your profit and your wealth. You also want to go for a business plan for savings contribution and debt reduction. You want to plan for those. If you have, you want to pay off your car, you want to pay down your credit cards, or, heaven forbid, you want to pay off some back taxes. It happens to us. You all laugh, but it happens. Some of you are going, oh, shit. So those are your goals, and then the next one is transaction goals. So that's when you need to know your breakdown. What percentage of your business is buyers? What percentage of your business is sellers? And a lot of people that have a higher commission when they're representing the sellers than when they're representing those. Maybe they just have a higher price point or whatever. So you've gotta know your numbers, or you guess. You know, if you're new in the business, take a guess. If you want help with the guessing, set up an appointment to see me. But I always say you need to know where you've been in order to know where you're going. So if you go back, more toward the back, there's some trackers. So there's one that's called a transaction tracker, okay? There's no numbers on this, so I can't tell you, but it looks like this, and that's it right there. And it says transaction tracker. So those of you that have been in the business a year or longer will be able to fill out your transaction tracker. And so look at the columns of this. See where it says CY sellers, and then it says CY buyers, CY leases, CY refers. So CY just is current year. So where did each one of your buyer closings and where did each one of your seller closings come from? And all the lead sources are listed on the left side there. You can add lead sources in there as well. So where did your business come from? CY sellers, CY buyers. I don't even do CY leases or CY refers. Doesn't mean I won't take but you know, someone that does commercial, like you, Miranda, you will have, you know, lease transactions. And then the last four columns are FY, for future year. So FY in this case would be 2024, okay? So if you say I got 6 sellers and 6 buyers this year from my past clients, my PC, and you can say, well, next year I think I want to increase that. Maybe I want to get 8 sellers and 10 buyers, or 10 sellers and 8 buyers, whatever that number is. So you're guessing, because this is kind of a guessing game. What am I going to end up doing this year, and then what am I going to do next year in these different lead sources? I always tell agents that you should have 4 to 6 lead sources. Every agent should have 4 to 6 lead sources. And your number one lead source is your database, and your other lead sources are feeding your database, okay? So you go through this whole thing, and then you add up the numbers on the bottom. How many future years or 2024 sellers? How many 2024 buyers am I going to have? And then what you can do is go back to that first page. And you may want to change that first page based on, you know, maybe you're going to do more than those numbers. So so when you're doing your business plan, you're going back and forth between pages and trying to figure out, you know, if 10 sellers and the average commission is you know, $10,000, maybe I need to change that first page. Or do this page first, before you even do the first page. Does that make sense? The other tracker is your expense tracker. I think it is the next page, right? Or the previous page. So so there's a professional expense tracker and there's a personal expense tracker. So the professional expense, you want to figure out exactly what you spend on your business. Okay? What agent dues, fees, business gifts, business, everything. And again, it's CY, which is current in this month, current month, and then current year, annual, and then future. If I know that you know, I pay $100 a month to Realty One, that's not going to change. But maybe I'm going to do more transactions, so I'm going to be buying more gifts for my clients. So that number will increase. So figure out where you're at now, and then estimate what you're going to do for the coming year. And why do we want the business expenses?
Tax write-off?
Tax write-off, sure. But what was on that first page? Remember the first page had expenses on there, right? Had revenue, expenses, so revenue minus expenses equals profit. So you take that off, this number here, you take off the expense tracker page. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right? So, and I'm jumping around on this a lot, but there's another. So remember, I said every agent should have 4 to 6 lead sources, right? Okay, there's a page here that says how to get it. It says how to get it on the top, right? So that is where you put your lead source. What lead source are you going to do? Is it going to be your past clients' sphere of influence? Is it going to be farming? Is it going to be, open houses? What is the lead source? And if you go to the next page, you can see that there's a couple of examples. So there's an example on past client center of influence. So you've got your marketing plan, your networking plan, your prospecting plan, your follow-up plan. So that blank page that says how to get it, you need one of those for every lead source. Okay? All right, so that's, if you need help on the Tom Ferry plan, I'm more than happy to help you out. The next one is, this is the Realty One plan. This is in the use 2 hands. This is the one that's in the one zone. And I'm not as familiar with this plan as the other, but in going through it, it's also pretty self-explanatory, and it walks you right through. It talks about goals, it talks about why to set goals, talks about, again, there's a page in there for year in review, 2023. You've got to know where you've been in order to know where you're going to go. So that is the Realty One business plan. And you know what? I don't care which one you use, just use one. And the last one I'm going to show you is one I found. So I've read this guy's book and listened to his, I should say listen to his books. Brian Eisenhower. This is simple. If you guys want, so these other two, especially Tom Ferry, a little more complicated, a little more in-depth. This one, simple.
The Tom Ferry one, can you find it online, if you use the,
So that was from 2018, I'm sure he has more current ones. Yeah, so I don't know. This one is one-page business plan. So go to the last page. It's a single-page business plan. So it's your annual goal. How much money do you want to make in 2024? 3 key focus areas. What are your 3 areas that you want to focus on? And then your 5 objectives for each area. I mean, it's really, really simple. And this one is easy to keep up all the time and say, hey, oh yeah, I need to do this, I need to do that. And the first couple of pages kind of explains it, and there's examples of how to use it in this. So, And there's many other business plans out there. And I don't care which one you use, but I really implore you to use a business plan, create a business plan. And don't do up a business plan and just tuck it away. You know, and it's okay to change your business plan. You can change it up or you can change it down. Don't be afraid to do that. I had one coaching client several years ago, and his goal was 48 transactions over the course of the year. And we got through about, and every quarter or so, I'd have him pull out his business plan and we would review it. And it got to about 6 months into the year, and he had already done 28 transactions. So he was way ahead of his, and he goes, I know what you're gonna do, Mark. You know, we're gonna change your goals. So we upped his to 60 goals, or 60 transactions for the year. He came out just short. He came out like 58 transactions for the year, but if he left his goals at the 48, he would probably just coast the last couple of months of the year thinking, I already got the 48. But since we made it, a little more tougher on him, he worked, that last couple of months, and he just almost reached his goal of the 60. So, I'm out of breath. That's all I got. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.